My name is Marcel Ernie, and you're watching Zone Television.
So I guess this is probably going to be part 3, the last part of this whole discussion about the Kawasaki H2 versus this 2015 BMW. Now, evidently, according to my findings, that in fact that this is the same two guys, this Kawasaki H2 and this guy riding the S1000RR 2015. I guess this model has been stock. Now, to recapitulate, yes, I seem to have. It seems to be that this H2 has been flashed, and it has an aftermarket Akrapovic or Akrapovic, however you want to pronounce it, exhaust on it. And according to one source, I can't confirm or deny, the bike is now producing, I guess, an additional. The word is that it's producing an additional 40 horsepower. I've not seen any dyno numbers or anything to corroborate that claim, and or anyway. But part 2 of the series was essentially, in a sense, recapitulating this video here, but from the rear angle, and I guess you could say bringing some satire to, or satirical elements to this rivalry between these two bikes here. So, needless to say, a friend of mine, a really good friend, riding buddy of mine, has a 2011 or 2012 S1KRR. And I'm sure that this has caused. Here's the big thing, discussion with this, folks. The real important aspect to remember in part of this here is, even, and I would say that I want to say that as much as I love the H2, and I do, I think it's a brilliant bike. It is forced induction, which and this argument can go around. It's around in circles. It's kind of like the displacement argument and the extra cylinder argument. For example, in World Superbike, you have V-twins that are allowed to compete with inline fours and V4 or for other four-cylinder bikes, and the V-twins have an additional 170 to 200 cc's displacement, or between I guess 1 to it has an additional couple of hundred cc's displacement, and those bikes compete in World Superbike on the track. Consequently, also in World Super Sport and in Moto America, in the 600 class, there are 3-cylinder bikes with an additional 75 cc's displacement that are legitimately able to compete against other 4-cylinder bikes, which are 600 cc's displacement. So I guess my point in prefacing, I guess, this video with all of that is, and this is kind of the argument that's cropping up, is the H2 is a forced induction bike. In other words, it's using forced induction. The cubic centimeter displacements are similar with these two bikes, but you have a forced induction bike versus a naturally aspirated bike. One would argue, or one might be able to argue, that the forced induction bike has an additional 60 to 70 pounds of weight. So whether that offsets the disparity of one bike being forced induction over another is obviously open for debate, and is going to be subject to debate for probably years, even decades to come. In any or either case, this is the front view of the race between the S1000 and the H2. So we see that the BMW has a head start here a bit. And you can see that, like, almost immediately after he gets out of that other gear, that he just walks. I mean, he just motors past that S1000. So right there, you're clearly seeing that, and apparently the weight, the rider on this bike weighs 220 some odd, or 200 plus pounds, and the rider on the BMW is weighing, according to a source, I guess between 150 and 170 pounds. So not only is the bike an additional 60 or 70 pounds, but you have the added weight and another 100 pounds of the rider. And the fact that this bike is able to, again, still motor past that BMW. And bear in mind, these two bikes stock, and I would almost guess that the H2 would still win. This is another element I forgot to mention in this discussion. Stock, both bikes, I'm guessing that he probably eliminated some weight by getting rid of that giant dustbin of an exhaust on the side of this bike. So I'm guessing he dropped maybe 25-ish, I'm going to say between 20 and 30 pounds, maybe even between 20 and 40 pounds, just by eliminating that larger exhaust there. So, you know, to be fair in the discussion, that was one thing I kind of left out. But I'm going to guess, I would have actually liked to have seen them both stock run against each other, because I've not seen a stock H2 run against a stock S1000. And I think that that's, in fairness, if you want to be, if one could even enter the ability or the suggestion to be fair, to have both bikes coming out of the box and then run them both together and then do the adjustments after the fact. So anyway, that's the discussion for now, and that completes this 3-part series of the discussion. And if you want to go to this guy's channel and subscribe to him, I'm leaving the links. I've gotten a few nasty comments because I'm using the material and embellishing some of his material, but this falls under fair use, because this is a discussion about these two bikes, and I'm using his as a source, which is germane to the discussion. I'm also extending the courtesy of providing links to his channel. He's 650IB. I think that's, 650IB, and his channel is right here, if you wanted to subscribe to it, right there. So anyway, there you have it for now, and it will be interesting to see these bikes compete against one another. I'm sure the motorcycle reviewers are probably getting ready to do a shootout and so forth. But then the question of whether it's actually a fair comparison because it's forced induction, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, that argument's going to continue, no doubt. And thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And I wish I had the checkbook to be able to get one of these bikes. Unfortunately, that's not the case. But anyway, yes, I'm a little bit jealous, but I am actually just kind of like enthusiastic for these guys that have been able to purchase these bikes and actually invite us on board and show us their stuff and what they can do. Again, thanks for tuning in. Remember, head first, Zone Television. Don't forget to subscribe. Push the the subscribe button down yonder, and then we'll talk to you soon.